welcome to the Little Blue Vlog. It's Jem here. Thank you for clicking on this video. I hope it finds you well. I'm going to be talking about all my emotions. I'm going to be talking about my emotional week. As some of you know, I have borderline personality disorder, and that is very, very hard to live with, and it's a mixture of intense emotions, outbursts of anger, paranoia, there's so many things, relationships, problems, loads and loads of things. But in this past week I've been really facing extreme emotions, and it has had a negative effect on the rest of my week and put me in a bad place. I've also really hurt myself this week, but I'll talk about that in a minute. How are you? How has your week been? Have you had a good week? Have you had a bad week? I hope you haven't had a bad week. Have you had emotional outbursts this week that are outside your control? Have you let your emotions get the better of you? Have you ended up hurting yourself through anger? Please tell me your story, your updates. Love hearing from you guys. So my week: explosive emotions, emotional overload. People with BPD or EUPD, emotionally unstable personality disorder, have difficulties regulating and controlling their emotions. And I wanted to talk about this week because that's what I've been facing. But I've also realised I don't do a lot of videos about what it's like living with borderline personality disorder, and I thought this week would be a really good opportunity to do that too, because it's something that I face every day, something that many people go through every day. But even if you don't have borderline personality disorder, you can still have emotional outbursts when you have mental illness, or even if you don't have mental illness, you can still have emotional outbursts. But with BPD, they're just more intense, they take over, and they basically have prevented me from doing other things. So it started off a bad week. Found out someone, a friend of the family, lost her battle with her with the brain tumour she had, and I've met her many times, and she was lovely and full of life and made me giggle. Yeah, she lost her life, so that was really sad. So I've been really sad this week. And of course, you know, whenever someone dies, no matter what, whether you've got mental illness or not, it's really sad. But for me, I just couldn't stop crying. I just kept kind of questioning people, like my existence, and thinking, why am I still alive and she's not? Very selfish, but mental illness can be selfish sometimes. And this kind of prevented me from doing my activities that I've been doing with my behavioural activation, gradually increasing my activities, doing kind of things that I enjoy, but not being able to do those because of being so upset by this. And this then brought up my levels, my emotional levels. So I was very quick to get emotional at other things. I was getting really hypersensitive and taking things to heart, and then the week got worse because I had a big falling out with my mum. I said some things that basically came up in my counselling about her going off to work when I was a kid, and how that was made me feel like she abandoned me and things like that. And I told her this, and I shouldn't have told her this, but I was so upset, and I just couldn't stop crying, and I was like, I need to offload this. Again, mental illness can be really selfish because it makes you think you need to do things to make yourself feel better, when actually it's going to make people feel worse. So we had a big falling out, and I ended up punching a wall. My hand is still, you can't really tell in that picture, but it's all swollen. I can barely move that finger. I'm such an idiot. I haven't punched anything for a while apart from myself, and it really hurts, and it's probably the worst. I've punched a wall before, my hand swelled up. I mean, it was twice the size, and I had to admit it to Andy because he would have found out, and I just felt really guilty. And I've just had explosive anger this week. I just have not been able to control it, and it's having a negative effect on people around me, and I'm feeling really bad about it. But it's just been intense emotion after intense emotion, intense sadness, intense anger, intense guilt, and just kind of not being able to control it. And I feel like it's got the better of me this week, and I feel like I've let myself down. I feel guilty. I don't know if you guys get this when your mental illness takes over and you don't really recognise yourself, and you're kind of like, why am I letting this happen? I feel really guilty. I feel really bad about myself. But it takes over, and you lose your identity almost, and you become this person that is your illness, and you're no longer separated from your illness. Because I try and separate me from my illness, and sort of think when my illness is out of control, I can say, look, I have an illness, it's out of control, but it's not me, it doesn't define me. But it's easier said than done when you're living with an illness that takes over and prevents you from living your life how you want it. And I just can't believe how up and down my mood has been this week. I've had moments of pure kind of sadness, but I've also had moments of elation, like extreme happiness. And I think it's because I'm no longer on my antipsychotics. I think they reduce kind of the mania that sometimes I can have with BPD. It's not full-blown mania, it's a milder version of hypomania, but it's something that takes over, and I've noticed that I've been feeling a lot more up and down since I came off the antipsychotics. But I don't want to be on them because they take away my personality. I feel like I'm getting a bit more of my personality back, but then it comes with the drawback of having emotional intensity and not being able to control things. So I don't know, just been a really hard week. I hate falling out with people. Oh, and counselling brought up some stuff this week as well about just how I am about myself and how I hate myself, my low self-esteem. It's just been one of those weeks where I've not been able to do everything because I've been held back by my mental illness. And do you guys experience that? Have you been held back by your mental illness this week? Has it prevented you from living your life? Has it been completely debilitating? Because it has been for me, and it's had a negative impact on people around me, and that's when I know that things are really bad, when my anger is out of control and I'm lashing out. I know when things are bad, and it's been bad this week. Yeah, but I have had good moments. I've lost weight with Weight Watchers. I think I've lost 8 pounds now, but I have cheated because I weighed myself when I shouldn't have weighed myself, so I don't know if I'm actually have lost that amount. Anyway, I shall find out next week. This video probably is very boring, but I just want to say BPD is really hard to live with, and having extreme emotions that take over is so debilitating, and it makes me feel like a child. It makes me feel like I'm having tantrums and like I'm not in control. and I don't feel like I have been in control this week. I don't feel like I've been able to take care of myself in the way I wanted to. I haven't been able to take care of people around me. Mental illness can be really selfish, and borderline personality disorder is no exception. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I hope this video's been okay. Please share with me your thoughts from this week. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already to my lovely channel. If you're new to the channel, please check out my other videos on all aspects of living with mental illness and learning about different illnesses. Please comment, please share, please do what you want with this video, and I will see you next week for hopefully I will be having a much calmer week. Oh, I've been doing my meditation, so that's been really helping. I've been doing Headspace and I'm on the Managing Anxiety course, which I'm really pleased with. I think I'm going to do the anger course next, see what I can do about that. But yeah, explosive emotions, emotional overload this week. Fair enough, someone passing away is going to do that. You know, we're all going to get emotional about things like that, but I think it's how we then get on with the rest of our day. And I think punching walls and hiding away from the world is not the answer. Take care, lots of love you guys to bits, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week.